Hey, Greg, thanks for talking to us. I imagine this isn't the rebound that you wanted after the Seattle game. What did you see from the match today?
Yeah, I mean, it became again, last week we lose the game on an execution on set pieces. This week we didn't manage a transition well, which then gives the away team a 1-0 lead. We got a little overzealous on the transition. We go and try to win the ball right away. We don't. They're behind us now. Our center backs are kind of scrambling in between, trying to rotate across and deal with the ball, and he puts in a perfect cross and a great finish. And now all of a sudden in a game that we're in control of, even though it was relatively early, we're down 1-0, and we're uphill. And again, we create chances. We get the balls into decent spots. The connection in the final action, not precise enough to put something in the back of the net, and the game continues to kind of progress where as it starts to go, we start to feel more and more like we're chasing it, and it gets a little bit murky at the end. Just they have a lot of numbers behind the ball. We're trying to get numbers in front of the goal, and then of course there's some transitions in that. But I thought, again, we played through their pressure. We got into their half the field with relative ease. We get into attacking situations. Sometimes I think we're impatient, and we try to hit final passes at the wrong times instead of working to get deeper, working to get to the end lines, playing the numbers a little bit, and working for more clear opportunities. We got a little impatient, and then again, I think as the game ticks away, then emotion starts to creep into the game, and it starts to get a little get fuzzy down the stretch. But again, another game that we just didn't execute on the final actions, and we showed vulnerability in the transition and gave one away early on that made it an uphill struggle.
And on the offensive side of things, you guys had 20 shots to their 3, but you only got 3 on target.
Yeah.
Is there something there to be paying attention to? Is the offense generating chances, but maybe not quality chances?
A little bit. I mean, I think for sure, again, it's, as I said before, there's times where I feel like we need to be a little bit more patient and work for a little bit more depth. It makes for the finish to be a little bit better. There's sometimes when I think we do work into those areas, and we do play balls across the face of the goal, or we do find areas and we miss the goal. We hit the goalkeeper. That was obviously not on a ton of occasions, but on a number of them. I think there's a combination of both things. I think we can work for better chances, but I also think we need to put more things on target and make the goalkeeper come up with more saves, work for more second balls in terms of rebounds and different things. And I think we're getting to areas and we're creating chances, but those chances need to be obviously either on target or really connect and ended up being goals. So, but some of the possession, some of the ball movement, some of the circulation to get to the final action has been very good. That's why we've been in such control of a lot of these games. Yeah, we got to finish, and we can't. We got to manage every play in the game if we're not going to score many goals, and we didn't manage early on.
Thanks, Greg.
Next we'll go to Damien.
Hey, Greg.
Damien.
This is, going into an international break, not really the performance you would like to have here, but what's your focus over these next couple of weeks here? Is it just continually drilling on, finishing and work on the offensive end, or how do you approach this break coming up?
Yeah, we're 4 games into the season, so we still have a lot of growing to do as a group. But for sure, one of the things that we need to improve upon is just the timing and the final action, not bailing out of attacks for low percentage situations and work better for high percentage situations. But yes, some final quality, final action stuff. We need to continue to build on every phase of the game. I think we've shown pretty good ability to play out of pressure and to work into the attacking half the field, but we've got to create more quality chances. The second part is just defensively. I feel like we've got to eliminate our vulnerabilities. We didn't manage a transition well today, so that's something that we need to think about. And there were other transitions where we just we weren't prepared for the transition, which was the most frustrating thing for me. Is we've got guys not involved in the attack need to be prepared for the transition so that we can stop the other team from just getting into our half of the field so easily. And I think that's some of us chasing the game. When I say we get emotional when we're down one, we've got guys who are now going forward, and we're not paying attention to our transition responsibilities. The attack doesn't work. They find a player. They're into our half of the field. Now you got to do a lot of work to get into the attacking half of the field again. And so we've got to remain disciplined, even if things aren't in our favor right off the bat, and trust kind of the process, stick to our roles, stick to what we're trying to do to create chances. So again, it's 4 games in. I think there's just things we need to continue to grow upon as a group and work. And then we've got to have more execution, obviously, on in and around the goal and those final actions.
What's the severity of Kljestan's, I guess, hamstring? Of course, it was serious enough to replace him at halftime, but how serious do you think it is?
Yeah, I mean, he felt it like between 5 and 10 minutes into the game. He said he went into a one-on-one and he took somebody on with a little acceleration and just felt like he was tight and he didn't have any real push-off. I saw him stretching it about 15 minutes in, so I was keeping an eye on him to see what his response was going to be, and I was trying to reach out to him across the field to get a sense of how he was, but he never really changed speeds. He never really got into another gear, and so I could tell going into halftime that there was something going on. And as soon as I walked over to him, he just said, like, I just feel like I'm tight and I can't explode and I can't change speeds, and so or sprint. And so, I don't know how severe. If it was more severe, I think he would have pulled himself earlier. So I wouldn't say there's anything severe or serious. However, he certainly feels tight. So that's something we're going to have to manage here over this break.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Scott.
Damien asked my question. Thanks.
And we'll wrap it up with Sophie.
Thanks, Coach.
So
Wanted to ask you a couple questions. First one is Cabral. You've shown a lot of faith in him, and at times he's had some good games, but it felt like one of those frustrating games for him where he was finding himself in certain positions that maybe positionally off or a touch too late, or maybe needing to pass the ball when he didn't. And your thoughts on his progression overall. And then secondly, with the defence maybe being the team's Achilles heel a little bit of late, are you concerned that then puts additional pressure on the offense, and they feel like they have to maybe chase the game for you a little bit too much versus getting ahead in a more simple fashion? Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. First, as it relates to Kevin, I think the obvious things for me is in the final action, Kevin needs to be more consistent and he needs to be more productive. That's the first thing. The second is the running that Kevin does and the work that he does. We don't have anyone on our team who does that, right? Sam does a little bit of it, but not the same. It's the consistency of working behind the back line, running through the back line into the depth. It's working to add another player in front of goal. There's things that I think we have to be patient with because he does those things different than anyone else in our team, and that creates opportunity and space and control for others. So there's things that I appreciate about his performances that maybe aren't as clear as goal scoring chances and scoring goals. Those bear out in the numbers that we look at and the things that we assess. Having said that, what most everyone else sees is the execution side of things, and for sure that has to take a big step forward because we need more end product, whether that's the pass, whether that's the finish, because he found himself again in a few good places where with a little more quality and a little more confidence maybe, he puts things on goal, he makes keepers make the save, maybe he puts it in the back of the net, we get more out of it. So I would just say that side is definitely a work in progress, but the running and the sprinting and the high speed running, we don't have anyone that's even close to him in our group that gives us that on a consistent basis, which there's value in that for us. But right now, when we're searching for goals, we need the final piece too. We need the final product. That's for sure. As it relates to the defending side, yeah, look, our defending, the key for us is, and we saw this against New York City, is while we're working to create chances and to finish goals, we need to be able to keep a game at 0. It can't be the opposition gets one chance, it's one goal, and now we're swimming upstream. We've got to be able to be reliable in the different phases of the game and keep games at 0 and give ourselves the chance to get the lead, right? Because the longer the game goes at 0, the more space opens up, the more opportunity. But if you go down 1-0, there's no incentive for the opposition to open up any spaces, and they just play you on the counter. And you know, for us, which is a team that wants to have the ball and we want to build, we just end up playing against very compact defenses that sit low because they're just protecting a 1-goal lead. And that's one of the most difficult things in soccer, is to break down and create chances against a low block. And we find ourselves in those situations when we give up goals. So we have to eliminate those vulnerabilities, whatever they are, whether they're defensive set pieces, they're in transition, whatever those vulnerabilities are, which I know what they are. I'm just not going to get into all of them here. We've got to close those gaps, and we've got to be able to play to 0, and we've got to be able to trust that we can go like we did in the first game, 79, 89 minutes, and keep working to get the goal we need to win the game. We can't play from behind. So we're early in the season, but that's something that we sure need to be highly aware of.
Hey, Sacha, thanks for taking the time to talk to us. I know you come in the second half and the game is already maybe a little bit on the stagnant side. What did you see whenever you got in there? And Greg was really talking about that final ball, that final quality that wasn't there. What did you see on the field?
Yeah, you know, when I come in, we're already down 1-0, so I'm just trying to bring a little bit of energy and really start to push the game to get us just playing at a little bit faster tempo. I think we started the second half very well. You know, a couple of half chances at the beginning, corner kicks, things like that. So, you know, starting to put pressure on them, which we tried to do for the rest of the 90 minutes, you know, for the rest of the second half. I think in the end, in the second half when I'm in there, we just end up rushing things a little bit. You know, they end up going to 5 in the back in the end and just kind of bunkering down, and we have a ton of possession, and you know, we aren't really able to break them down. And I think what hurt us a little bit is just we just did not have the ability to stay patient and wait for things to open up. I think we started just throw long balls forward or throw the ball in the box, and you know, things weren't really happening for us. So I think just the learning for us from this game is, you know, so even when we go down 1-0 early on, that we just stick to the game plan. We still try to move the ball from side to side. We still got to be patient with the ball and still do the right things. So getting impatient never helps. You know, sometimes games get crazy at the end, and if you can just settle the game down and still be able to find ways to break them down the way that we like to play, I think that'll be best for us.
You guys outshot them 20-6, but just 3-2 on goal. Whenever you look at, is that the indication of that patience?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. More execution, I think, just of the final play, where we were just, I think, a half step late or early, or just the final touch was like a half touch off. Tonight it just was not very clear and precise, I think, in our execution in the final play today.
Thanks, Sacha.
Next, go to Scott French.
Hey, Sacha. We've seen in all 4 of the games, you guys kind of controlling play, certainly creating chances, creating opportunities for chances, and even in the wins, not getting as much out of your chances as perhaps you should have. I'm wondering how frustrating that is, and whether this is just, you know, a lot of times it's the attack that comes together last.
I would say yes, it can be frustrating, but on the bright side, like you said, the way I feel also is that we have controlled all 4 games through possession so far that we have played. We have yet to face a team that is controlling more of the ball than us or controlling the midfield, so that's a very big positive for us, because that's the way that we want to play. We want to be able to control the games through our midfield and with the ball. Having said that, yes, we would like to create better chances from the run of play through our possession. And then on the other side, I would also like to see us be able to create more chances through transition. So we've been pretty good defensively and pretty good against the ball. limiting other teams' chances, limiting other teams' build-ups, and forcing some teams to play direct. Now I'd like to see us, if we can create some of those turnovers that we get in the attacking half of the field, into quicker chances on goal. So, we're working on things like that, but for a positive look on things, that we have controlled, I think, all 4 games with possession, and we've yet to see a team that can do that to us yet.
Thank you, Sacha.
Okay, we'll close it out with Damien.
Hey, Sacha, you were talking about about being patient. Is that overall, is that the next step this team has to take to be considered one of the top teams around, just to develop or find that patience?
I think that's just that's a part of it. I guess in my previous answer, I think the other part of it is just creating a little bit better chances through our possession and through our control, and then also the creating of chances through transition moments. So I think in preseason we did a good job of being very organized behind the ball, step out pressing, and being able to win balls and get those balls into the area fast and create goal scoring opportunities off of transition. I think now we've kind of gone back a little bit to being more possessive, winning the ball a little bit deeper. So if we can keep winning the ball a little bit higher, that'll be better for us in the long term. But these are all little parts of the whole picture. I don't think there's just one thing that's going to say, oh, we do this better, we're going to be elite. We got to do all the little things better that we work on every day, and then I think by the end of the season, yes, we can be elite. I really believe in our group. I believe in the guys that we have, the work that we're putting in on a week-to-week and day-to-day basis. So yeah, I'm pretty positive about our group, and I think we're going to be good.